Right, now the second combi knot that I'm going to show you is for tying braided hook links onto stiff mono or fluorocarbon, whatever you prefer to use. And I like this knot because 1, it's strong, 2, it's simple, and 3, you can so accurately gauge the length of the hook section, the supple section. So you can have, some of them I make them and they're only like an inch. You only get an inch supple section before the knot. So they are it's very good for that. But the one thing you have to do first, which I haven't done because, well, there's no need to yet, is just to tie your hook first and do all your hair and everything on the hook first, on the braid, and then you just hold the hook and then you whip it onto the mono. So if we just pretend that I've tied a hook on the end of there, and the only reason I'm doing this is so I can test it well after, without like getting, just to show you that it's very strong without, you know, having an accident with a hook. So basically pretend there's a hook on there, and then what you do, you get your mono, you kink your mono over, fold a small section over, so it's only about, if I can fold that, sometimes it, because this is quite stiff mono, so if I fold it over like that, so you've got basically a loop in your stiff link, right? And then what you do, you put your hook through, pretend there's a hook that side obviously, right, so put your hook through, pretend that's a hook section, and then hold it together. Now first gauge, if I zoom in now, so let's do it a little bit, now, so it's gone through the loop, or the makeshift loop on the stiff, pretend that's your hook, gauge how long you want it, so if you want it 3 inches, you've got to pull a little bit, so just pull it down a touch, like that. Then you hold the hook end away from you, and then you work this side. And then what we do, you go over with the braid 8 times, so you're whipping it 8 times. You don't have to do this tight, but you have to do it taut. So that's 5. So that'll be 6. That's 7. And that's 8. Right. So that's been whipped now over the 2 pieces of the thick stiff braid, and then what we do, the hook obviously is pretending to be on there, then what you do, turn it round, well I prefer to turn it round because you've got to whip down 4, but what I prefer is turn it round like that, still keeping it all whipped, and then go back 4, same way, but you're going down the whip now. 2, 3, 1 more, 4, and then push this tag end back through the loop, still keeping hold of that, and then when it goes tight, then what you do is you pull them both together, but wet them all again, and then pull them down. Yeah, and as that teases down, it tightens, tighten that bit, and then this shorter end is pretending to be the hook, so tighten that down nicely, like that, and that's it. And that is a beautiful combi knot, and this is quite strong. I wouldn't say it's as strong as the other, because you can do this as well with the one I showed you before, the 4-turn granny knot. You can do that with this one, braid to nylon, but I prefer this one for nylon to braid. I just think it's it's a more sophisticated knot. It's tidier. It's longer, but it's a nice whip section, so you can put some nice putty on and it'll grip nicely on that. So that's that. Best thing to do is use your proper, if that's got a hook on it, use proper clamps and everything to try it out. Really make sure it's strong before, and then once you know it's strong enough, clip off the tag ends and try and get them. You can get them really close on this one. The stiff boom, you can really get close to that one and just nip it so you can hardly see any of that. And then this bit, cut that off obviously with braid blades, if I can get it right. Just check that. See, that is so strong. And then once you're happy with how strong it is, just dab a little glue over it. I always think it's always best to glue your knots. I think it just gives you that extra strength and security. And then if you cut that tag end off, and now that's a beautiful combi knot, strong as an ox. There you are. So if you want any more tips and advice, visit carpfishingtactics.com. See you soon. Thank you.